G'day there. I think ultimately I'm pleased we're doing this the way we are. The questions up until this point about rules, exceptions, concepts, things to do, what's allowed, what's essential, what isn't, why not, and so on have reached peak idiocy. Once again, it's the Western way of viewing the world, isn't it? Why follow simple instructions if you can ask 1,000 inane questions that could fairly easily be answered if you applied a little bit of common sense? It's a resistance build-up, I suppose, over decades of arguing the point. I suppose it's all based on the right kind of concept, actually. Freedom of thought and freedom of expression, the right to question authority, all that sort of stuff. But in a state of emergency, that basically ends. But a simple philosophy of mine has always been, if you're going to do something, do it properly. And it would outwardly appear this lockdown as being done properly, especially if you compare it to many, including Australia's. I mean, if we accept the virologists were right, that we should have done better at the airport, and we should have done better on self-isolation, and certainly should have done better on testing, then we can assume that they're basically still right now. To break this thing, we need to lock down and lock down properly. The reason we were so slow to this point, even if you argue we are faster than other countries, was economic and social pushback. The government listened too much to the argument around schools, for example, but look at where the community infection is. As of yesterday, Marist. What's Marist? Marist is a school. The economic line that a shutdown stalls the economy. The answer to that? Well, the pain was coming anyway, really. You want slightly less pain for way longer, or you want the pain now and get out the other side quicker. We've made the right decision on this. Australia, for example, doesn't look like they have. Trump, he would appear in real trouble as well. His let's all go to church at Easter and we'll be back up and running sooner rather than later sends a dangerous, if not delusional, message. When he said the doctors want to close the whole world down, he's actually right. They probably do, because only two things seem to work. One, a vaccine, and two, a lockdown. We don't have one, but we can have two. So to Australia, a cock-up potentially of royal proportions. I mean, Morrison has buckled to the economic side of the equation at the expense of health. You can go to boot camp, you can get married, you can get buried, you can have your hair done, and everyone who has work is an essential worker. What a joke. Unless what we are doing is in fact over the top and Morrison gets similar results with less severity. But as yesterday's poll here showed, 93% of us think that we are doing the right thing. And that, do you know what that is? That is hope in a poll. Because if you have buy-in, it's likely to be way more effective, especially when there is self-sacrifice at play.